Okay, gang, by now you should understand that the thrust of everything that I do is about anti-aging. Actually, I just use that because that's the buzzword. I actually call it age management, okay? And peak performance. The whole idea is to get more out of your body for a longer period of time. I would much rather, if you use this analogy or allow me to use this analogy, I would much rather be plunking along at a steady state and then all of a sudden one day fall off the cliff, rather than kind of meander down the stream, headed toward the waterfall, and then drop, okay? I personally would rather be functioning at a high level of function for a long period of time. And the misnomer in our culture is that as you get older, you have to degenerate. If you get my book, The Secrets of How to Feel 20 Years Younger in 90 Days or Less, you're going to see the whole program that refutes that whole mentality. But you have to accept it, or not, okay? But that's my reality. So we're going to talk about breathing as it relates to anti-aging, peak performance. I'm also going to teach you some emotional release. If you go back to the original segment where I talk about the negative emotions in the body and how your body holds on to those, the number one causative emotion for cancer, for instance, is anger. But anger, grief, and resentment go hand in hand. It's interesting that in Chinese medicine, anger is the emotion of the liver, and the liver rules the joints. So when I have people coming in and they're telling me about all their arthritic conditions, you see how my brain starts linking all of these pieces to the puzzle back together. And a lot of times by teaching them just the emotional release, where they can release that anger, that grief, that resentment, the jealousy, the judgment, they start to feel better on a cellular level, and their inflammation, their arthritis, starts to recede or reduce. Okay? And we can do this over and over and over. Now, it takes some commitment to do this. But with the breathing, you're increasing oxygenation of the brain. Everything in your body works on oxygen. Without it, you're not around. Okay? So your immune system is going to improve. Your digestion, your respiration, obviously, your cardiovascular system, your hormones, your mood, your attitude. Everything is going to improve with proper breathing. So let's first just talk about proper breathing. Most Americans have no idea what that is. If you take a baby and you watch a baby breathe, and they're lying there in a nice little restful spot, you'll watch their tummies come up and down, okay? But if you watch most Americans breathe, especially if we're 20 years and older, okay, but it actually starts in teens, we're breathing all up in here, okay? So we're neglecting the whole diaphragm and 80% of the lung fields. We're trying to get it all up in here. We wonder why we have so much tension. Well, do this for a second. Actually do this. Stand up. Bring your shoulders up like this. And then for 10 breaths, just go. Do that. And see what kind of tension you feel in your body. Okay, versus just simply breathing in down to here. And letting it go. Just with one breath, you'll feel all that tension recede. Now, I'm going to teach you how to increase the ability to belly breathe, because when you belly breathe, when you actually breathe down into here, and you allow that muscle of the diaphragm to actually move, it's actually going to inflate the big bellows we call our lungs more efficiently. It's going to massage our intestines. It's going to make our blood flow. It's going to make the peristalsis of our colon. It's going to move all the junk that's in there, and it's going to help us eliminate, okay? Which is really good for your detoxification. You don't want all that, pardon the slang, crap hanging around in there, putrefying, okay? And if you've got bad breath, if you've got indigestion, if you've got a hiatal hernia, if you've got heartburn, if you are constipated, or if you have diarrhea, you want to learn how to do the belly breathing. What I want you to learn is I want you to learn how to breathe back down in your belly. Actually, I don't want you to learn it. I want you to relearn it. So what we're going to do is simply take an object. It can be you know, something that has a little bit of weight to it. It doesn't have to be, you know, a big thick dictionary, although that would help. We're just going to place that little jewelry box on Stevie's belly button. I just want it in this area, okay? And what I'm going to have her do is just, we're going to, anytime you're doing the breathing exercise, I'm going to teach you how you want to put your tongue in what I call the meditative posture, okay? You want to lightly tap the tip of your tongue, just hold it behind your upper teeth, like this. There's a whole reason energetically for that. I'm not going to get into that today, but there's a reason for that energetically, and that is that the energy in your body actually goes in this fashion. It's like you're doing a somersault, okay? So by doing that and reinforcing it with the breathing, we're doing a lot of other things energetically. But all I'm going to have Stevie do is very gently breathe in through her nose. Everything's going to be through the nose, in and out. And as she breathes in through the nose, I want her to raise this box as high as she can. Come on, let it go, and exhale, and just let it go. And just lie down and do this. You're going to find that when you first start to do this, you're going to find it's very difficult. You'll feel a lot of tension in this area and down in the pelvis, because everything is contracted there. It's all tight and contracted. So what you want to do is start to get that to relax, and you're not forcing it, okay? So go ahead and keep breathing like that. I just want you to breathe in. Watch that rise and down. And do that again. Right? I want to see it down a little bit lower, okay? So everything down here, if I put my hand here, I want this to come up as well. It's coming up like that, okay? So a little bit deeper. Now this is going to be a little frustrating for her, okay? But this is the whole point. I've never taught Stevie this before, okay? Breathe in. Now you see that makes a difference, okay? Now just relax and just breathe the way you normally do, okay? So you're not wigging out on me. Okay, so what we want to do is, that's just belly breathing, okay? That's a relaxation breathing. And if you just spend a couple of weeks with 5 minutes a day just doing the belly breathing like this, just baby steps, okay? Just start with one little thing, do that 5 minutes a day. You're going to all of a sudden notice that all of these things, the digestion, respiration, cardiovascular, mood, attitude, your elimination is going to improve. If you're constipated, that's going to improve. If you have chronic diarrhea, that's going to improve. Just from simple breathing, the way our babies breathe, and we forgot. Okay? Now, we can take this to the next step, and we can do what I call rectangular breathing. Rectangular breathing actually helps synchronize the energies of the body a little bit more. Now, I'm going to explain it. Stevie's never done this before, so, and obviously you can give me feedback, okay? But a rectangular breath, if you watch this, the inhale comes in for this length, the exhale goes out half of it. I'm sorry, the inhale comes in, you hold your breath for half of it, you exhale that length, and you hold it for the half of it, okay? So if it takes me 8 seconds to inhale in that relaxed belly breathing posture, okay, then she's going to hold her breath. She's going to just hold everything in here, in your lungs as well as your belly, okay? And she's going to hold it for 4 seconds. Then she's going to slowly let it come out for 8 seconds. And on the exhale, with nothing in her, she's going to hold her breath for another 4 seconds. And it's rectangular breathing, okay? And if you try this, if you have difficult sleeping at night, don't do this right off the bat. Learn the belly breathing first. Get comfortable with that. Then we take it up to the rectangular breathing. So go ahead and do that. Just breathe in. It doesn't have to be 8 count, whatever it is, okay? Just count 1, 2, 3, whatever. But hold for half of it, and then exhale, let it all go, same count, then hold for half of it, and then inhale, and just keep that cycle going. And exhale, and hold. Okay? So again, you should get that you're inhaling, you hold it for half, exhale, hold it for half, okay? Now, some people say, well, Doc, what if I inhale at an 8 count and I exhale at a 10 count? Fine. Inhale on an 8 count, hold it for 4. Exhale on a 10 count, hold it for 5. Pretty simple, okay? It doesn't have to be a perfect rectangle, but you get the idea what that's doing. So while she's holding that in there, it's allowing her lungs to actually bring a lot of oxygen in and bring a lot more of the toxins out, and then she expels it all out and keeps them expelled before she brings in that next cleansing breath. Okay, so again, I'm not going to get into all the details of some of the what many people consider the woo-woo of this, okay? But functionally, you'll find that this improves how you relax. It'll improve your attention. It'll improve your ability to relax on command. So if Stevie masters this 2 weeks from now, when she feels herself getting all anxious because she just had a angry client call her on the, actually that never happens to you, right? But if an angry client calls and she finds that she's all breathing up here because she's all uptight, and oh, okay, I need to breathe, okay? So in fact, right now, just take a deep breath. And let it go. And notice how your body relaxes, okay? Now I can be fairly intense, so I kind of get things fine. You're listening to it up here. Just take a deep breath and let it go, all right? All right, square breathing. It's another variation. She's going to breathe in for 8. She's going to hold for 8. She's going to exhale for 8. She's going to hold for 8. This is a little more advanced, and some of you are going to feel like, oh my goodness, I got to take a breath. Okay, well that's okay. None of this is going to be forced. You want to develop into this. It's just like weight training. What we're actually doing is we're weight training for the diaphragm. Okay, so go ahead and give that a try. Breathe in. Yep, pick that up. Hold for the exact same amount of time. And exhale. And hold for the exact same amount of time. And inhale. Okay, now some of you are probably starving for breath just watching that, okay? Now just relax, Stevie. Tell me how that felt.
That was good.
Okay,
Yeah.
What was good about it?
I felt like I got more air.
She got more air, okay? She feels, now, again, this is going to be very powerful type of breathing. If you're an athlete, if you're going out, even if you're a weekend warrior, if you have to go give a presentation, if you're another doctor and you have to go and spend your time in front of patients all day, you know, if you're a service provider, a doctor, an attorney, a CPA, a massage therapist, an acupuncturist, it doesn't really matter. If you're providing a service, what do you experience all day long? I call it regurgitation. Okay, we're in the business of having people puke on us. Okay, not physically, but psycho-emotionally. They come in with all their baggage and their problems and they go, bleh, right? And what we do is we go home and we're wearing all of it. And we're like, ah, and then we go home and what do? Bleh, all over our dog or our kid or our wife or our husband, right? And we just keep puking and puking and puking, and everyone, all of a sudden, everyone's puking on each other. Stop the cycle. Do this. Periodically through the day, I will get on my table in my office and I will lie down and I will do square breathing. Now keep in mind, I'm all about this. I want more out of me. And when I'm talking more, every day I want to be improving and getting at least 1% better, faster, stronger, smarter. Okay? That's my intention. But because of that, I actually take the square breathing and I added a little twist to it. Actually 2 twists, and I'm going to share those with you, and this is more advanced, so I don't expect you to do this off the bat, but you can work into it as you go, okay? So here goes. You're going to do the square breathing, but on the exhale, I want you've exhaled everything down, then for 4 seconds, I want you to suck in, meaning I want your belly to suck back against your spine. Okay? Now, here's what's going to happen. At first, when you first start doing this, you're going to get really lightheaded. You're going to feel like you got a little buzz. Okay? Well, this is a good buzz. It's legal. Okay? It's free. It's temporary. Okay? But she'll tell you that she will feel a little bit hyperventilated. This really gets the power and the energy in your body going. Now, the only thing is when you inhale, I want you to do it with power. I want you, it's like I've compressed everything. And then you're going to go. And you're going to hold in. Now, it's not going to take her 8 seconds to inflate. Okay, it's going to take her maybe 3. Okay, then you hold it for that same time. And then you exhale more gradually. Okay, so I don't know what shape that would be. I'm going to call it a modified square. Okay, it's a square that somebody stepped on. Okay, so go ahead and breathe in through your nose. Exhale. There you go. All the way out, all the way out. Now, on the exhale, suck your tummy back into your spine. Suck it back in, suck it back in, suck it back in, and inhale. Hold. Exhale. Nice gradual. There's no tension. She's just letting everything deflate on its own. It deflates. She sucks in actively. Suck it in, suck it in, suck it in. Inhale. Okay, so play with that. Now, what did you feel from that?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel that makes me a little out of it.
It makes you a little dizzy, okay? That's advanced. You work into that. But what you're going to do, and you don't do a lot of cycles of that. You might do 10 of those, okay? But what you're going to find is that all of a sudden your energy is just seething and surging through your body, and you're ready to go, boom, do whatever you have to do, okay? That's a really cool one. The last variation of the square breathing that I'm going to do, and this is really advanced, okay? Be careful with this because you may really hyperventilate. You might even pass out, okay? Not really, but you're going to feel like you are, okay? She's going to breathe in very powerfully. She's going to hold for the same amount of time. So if it's 4 seconds in, she's going to hold for 4 seconds, and then she's going to contract her whole body, everything. And she's going to exhale as fast as she can through her nose, squeezing down on all the muscles, everything that you can. I mean, I want you to squeeze everything, okay? You're going to just squeeze everything, hold it there, suck in for 2 seconds, release it and explode with an inhale, okay?
Can you tell me again?
Okay. She wants me to tell her again. I'll tell you again too because you probably didn't catch it. You want to inhale. You want to hold it for the same amount of time. On the exhale, it's an explosive exhale, but as you're exhaling, it's almost like you're squeezing with every muscle, squeezing that breath out of you, and you're coming down like this. And you may find that you even want to say, as you do that, okay? Everything's out. Suck your belly in back to your spine for about 2 seconds, and then explode into a breath, okay? Go ahead. Hold. Exhale hard. Hard, hard, hard. Push it down, push it down, push it down, push it down. Now suck it back, suck it back. And now in. Exhale hard, 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 hard. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Squeeze everything, okay? Suck it in and go, okay? All right, now, just from those 2 breaths, what do you feel?
That definitely makes me feel lightheaded.
And she's lying down. So do this lying down, okay? But now, go ahead and just take a couple of relaxed breaths. A couple of relaxed breaths.
Makes me very light.
Yeah, she said it makes her very light. Yeah, you feel like you're just, it's like I could go do anything now, okay? Yeah. What's your mood like right now?
I feel really relaxed.
Really relaxed, okay? Again, if you're having a difficult time sleeping, here you go. This is more advanced. This is something, if you're an athlete, right before a competition, get yourself into that zone, okay? This is a great way to do that. So, the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about breathing for peak performance and emotional release. It's an interesting thing, but back in the old Soviet Union, the Russian sports psychologists did a lot of advanced work, and a lot of this is there's a little overlap with some things from the martial arts, but anyway, it's really interesting when you get into the physiology and the psychology of peak performance. But the more emotional tension you carry, the less able you are to physiologically perform. So we're going to do a couple of exercises that I'm going to introduce to help release the emotions, to help focus the attention. Because if you're tied up with all this emotional baggage, your attention is scattered. You can only pay attention to one thing at a time. It's almost like grains of sand falling through, you know, one of those hourglasses, okay? Only one can go through at a time. You can't get 2 through at a time. You can't think of two things. Now, some of you think that you're experts in multitasking, but in reality what you are is you're switching your attention back and forth very, very quickly, and guess what? You're completely inefficient. So the way to become really efficient and a peak performer is to be able to put your attention like a laser beam on that one thing, get it done, instead of being scattered. It's like having static on a radio. Or worse, it's like having 5 different radios going at one time and I can't put my attention on any one. In a course later on, I'm going to introduce you to a technique where we actually use that to increase our ability to focus our attention. You can kind of probably surmise where that exercise goes. But what I'm going to teach right now is something called Ganzfeld technology. Ganzfeld is German for total field. What we want to do is we want to help Stevie focus the total field of her conscious awareness on whatever it is she wants to put her attention on. In order to do that, we need to synchronize all the brain waves, and what the East German physiologists found back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when they were really doing a lot of peak performance training, they found that if they simply took something that was opaque, this is just 2 ping pong balls that I kind of cut out so you can put them over your eyes, and I gently rest these over Stevie's eyes. Now you're going to keep them open, okay? Here, you put them on. I don't want to poke you, okay? She's going to put them on over her eyes. Now, I didn't carve these to fit her face, so we may have to play around with it a little bit. But basically what you're going to do, Stevie, is you're going to hold your eyes open, okay? You're going to do that nice relaxed belly breathing. There's no square or rectangular breathing going on here. Oops, we lost one, okay? Just for the time being, I'm just going to have you hold that on there, okay? So for instructional purposes, she's just going to hold this. What you do is you basically get ping pong balls, and then you get some little fingernail scissors, and you carve it out, and you'll have to play with it, and you file it down and make it nice and comfortable. But you want it so it just sits over your eyes so you don't see anything around here. And what she's going to do, let's just pretend that her arms are relaxed, okay? What she's going to do is she's going to breathe nice and gently into here, nice rhythmic breathing, and she's not really going to think about anything. She's just going to lie down and relax for 5 or 10 minutes. Now, what the German physiologists and psychologists found is that after 10 minutes, her brain waves start to synchronize. Everything, again, we're an energetic system. Her brain waves start to kind of get in sync with each other. Everything starts to work, and you're all of a sudden in a highly receptive, trance-like state that is highly aware. So it's highly aware and it's highly receptive, which means it's a great place to be for autosuggestion. What is autosuggestion? Autosuggestion is her subconscious mind talking to her conscious mind and getting them both to be on the same page. Pretty powerful. Actually, in this case, it's her conscious mind talking to the subconscious, okay? So if you've got a bunch of negative emotions, thoughts, beliefs, things that are just like an Achilles heel, they're hindering your ability to perform to the next level. This is one step that you can use, one system you can use to help get everything in sync, and then I'm going to take it to the next level. All right? The next level on that is I'm going to have you, as you breathe in, visualize white light coming into your body. As you exhale, I want you to think, I am strong. Okay? And then on the next breath, you're going to breathe in, I am healthy. And then on the next breath, I am wealthy. Whatever affirmation you want to give yourself. Breathe in again, I am grateful. Okay? And so you can give yourself just these little statements. So once you do this, I would say after about 2 weeks of doing this, 10 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day, I mean, a little is better than none, right? By simply doing this exercise, getting the little white field over her eyes, getting her brain to sync up, getting the brain, the body, and the emotions and the spirit to kind of tie in line, all of a sudden she's going to be able to start suggesting to herself things that are more positive. Now, how do we do emotional release with this? Very simple. In that state, again, let's just say this is 2 weeks down the road and Stevie's actually gotten into the point where she can lie down with these things, put the ping pong balls over her eyes, and in 2 minutes she's in that nice, relaxed, receptive state. here's what you do. Let's say you just had a fight with your boyfriend, okay? You're going to take responsibility for everything in your world. It may have been his issue, right, but it's on your radar screen, so you're going to take responsibility for it. So while you're exhaling, you're simply going to say, I'm grateful. Breathe in. That I love you. Breathe in. That I'm sorry. Breathe in. Please forgive me. Breathe in. And thank you. That's all you're going to say. And you're going to say it in a cycle, and you're going to do that for 5 or 10 minutes. Now, if this seems a little bit metaphysical or a little bit out there for you, all I suggest is that you try it for 30 days. Give it a shot. Be open to trying different things, because here's the definition of insanity. If you've ever listened to Tony Robbins or any of the speakers out there, they say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. That is kind of crazy, okay? But the thing is, what most of us do is we go through life and we say, well, I'll do something a little different, meaning it's a little bit of a variation. I tell people that's like going from eating vanilla ice cream to chocolate ice cream when you actually have an allergy to dairy. Okay? A little change is not going to do it. You have to do something radically different. So be open to try this. You might find that you start performing at a higher level. You're going to be breathing more deeply. You're going to be oxygenating your body more fully, and you'll find that your relationships will actually start to improve. Not just the relationships with other people, but believe it or not, your relationship with yourself. And again, if that sounds like a little bit of psycho mumbo jumbo, try it.